In 2008, the Australian government announced an $82 million cyber safety plan, which included a mandatory nationwide internet filter, with the aim of blocking access to illegal and unclassified material on the net, despite criticisms claiming it is useless in its aims and a danger to people's rights. So what exactly is this filter, and what effect will it have on you?
So what we have now is a plan that involves the government preparing a blacklist of URLs that people can't see. The sites on that blacklist are supposed to be refused classification, which is content that doesn't fit into any of the existing categories like R or X or MA15+. That list will be given to all the ISPs in the country, all internet companies in the country, and they'll have to make sure that those are blocked and that their customers can't see them.
The government's proposed filter is really aimed at restricting what is currently already illegal material in in Australia, and we support that. You can't go to a magazine shop and buy magazines that are illegal, at least you shouldn't be able to. We don't see why the internet should be any different.
At first blush, it might seem sensible to say, look, the internet's just another way of publishing material. Why should it be treated any differently than movies and TV and books? But of course, when you think about it a bit more, if you understand the internet a little bit more, it's completely different than movies and books. The internet is global. It applies to individuals because you and me, whenever we leave a comment on a blog, are essentially creating internet content, and it's very much a peer-to-peer mechanism, and it changes on a daily basis or even on a per-minute basis.
From people claiming that this filter is as bad censorship as cases of book burnings earlier in the century, to others saying that anyone who is for the filter must be a pedophile, there are certainly many differing and strong opinions on this topic. What do people really think of a compulsory nationwide filter?
I think it's rude, I think it's disgusting, I think we shouldn't be able to find what we can find.
As long as it's only filtering stuff like child porn and not things that the government doesn't want us to see or hear.
I understand the principles behind it, and I think that the sentiments are good, but I think that the actual practice is going to be nonsense. Firstly, every kid that knows how to use an alternative method to find their way across the net will. I mean, this isn't going to stop anything. It's part of a government looking like it's trying to do something strong.
Senator Stephen Conroy, the brains behind the whole idea, has a firm belief in our need for a filter. As he says, having no regulation to combat illegal activity actually weakens all that is good about the internet. He claims that we are much worse off without it. But what will this filter really achieve?
The filter will achieve a number of things. Firstly, it will stop inadvertent access to material. There are questions around peer-to-peer networking which need to be addressed as well, but we think it will provide an added level of protection for Australian families. It's not the only answer to the problem of pornography and other illegal material on the internet.
The government likes to talk about things like child pornography a lot. That's clearly a problem, and of course it's highly illegal. The filter won't really make a difference there. Having the government collect the pages to be blocked via complaints obviously won't be very effective, and this sort of material is not usually traded on public websites but on peer-to-peer networks that won't be targeted by the filter at all. So it won't help parents, it won't help police. On the other hand, it costs tens of millions of dollars, it involves a massive change in the way the internet works in this country, and of course it has significant risks to our freedom of speech.
One of the biggest claims heard against this filter is the idea that it is a violation of people's civil rights and freedom of speech, unfair censorship. So should we monitor what people can or cannot do on the net? Or do you think that is their right and they should be able to do whatever they want?
No, I don't. I think that we've made a decision as a society that some things are not acceptable. We don't allow child porn here, we don't allow bestiality here, it's not part of our culture, and we want to protect people from that.
Freedom of speech is something that we take seriously. It's not protected in the Constitution or in our laws in a very explicit way, so it's something that we constantly have to fight for. If you look at the type of material that they're wanting to ban, some of it could deal, for instance, in instruction in crime. That would include safe drug use or euthanasia or even graffiti. So there's areas at the edges of the material where it will be politically sensitive and it will be controversial, and those sites will be blocked from day one.
So the questions remain. Is this proposed filter a good idea? Will it be effective? And do you think it is really worth all that money and effort?